Game and Movie presents interviews from MGC 2018. What is up, everyone? This is Tony here with Game and Movie Podcast at the Midwest Gaming Classic 2018, and I have the distinct pleasure of talking to the voice, Tim Kitzrow. How are you doing today?
Anthony, a pleasure to be here, as I said, from downtown Milwaukee, out to Tecupo from Acapulco, and that was a short trip home from below the equator. Kaboom!
I love it.
Nice to meet you, and nice to be on your show and talk to some retro gaming fans.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's exciting to be here, seeing all the classics, the history of the video game industry is really a pleasure, and I haven't been to a lot of these shows, so it's really a thrill for me to see the collection of my earlier work, which are all the pinball games I did with Williams Bally before I started doing the video games. So I've got about 15 titles in the classic pinballs.
No kidding. Go through some of those titles. I was not aware of your history with that.
The very first game, I played drums in a weekend pickup band in Chicago while looking for other acting work and going to Second City. And one of the guys in the band was responsible for putting all the sound effects and the music in the games, as they used to do. They were the producers, the editors, the mixers. And they said they're looking for someone to do Mr. Howell. He said, "Can you do Mr. Howell?" I said, "It sounds a little weird, but how much you paying to do Mr. Howell?" He goes, $50 an hour.
Oh.
I said, "Throw in another $50, I'll do the skipper too." "Oh, Gilligan, maybe we could bribe Kona." "Ooh, lovely." So it all started right there. I went on to do, it's hard to do this one without the effects. You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight, a dimension of sound, a dimension of mind. You've just crossed over into the Milwaukee Game Zone. Twilight Zone.
Absolutely. That was good.
Yeah.
I'm going to boost that up in post and see what I can do with it.
That was fun, though. Had to do all those classic lines from Twilight Zone, which was one of my favorite shows. Some of my favorite games were Who Done It? It's a great kind of Sam Spade detective noir one.
Okay.
Suddenly I was back on the case. There she stood.
Yeah,
Private Eye.
Sure.
Red and Ted's Road Adventure with Carlene Carter Cash, two hard hats on the pinball machine, and when he falls asleep, he starts burping up his pastrami sandwich for multi-ball.
Okay, yes, I've played that.
That must have been that pastrami sandwich I had. Let's go wreck some road, honey.
Woohoo! Wow. Yeah, so you've been with me all my life, actually.
What time is it? Time to get scared stiff. Scared Stiff, Elvira. A lot of titles. So I was just in the right place at the right time, having fun, creating a lot of characters. Attack from Mars was another one.
Okay.
Multiple
I
characters.
love that. Definitely.
And then at a certain point, the video games were taking over and the pinballs were on their way out, slowly going to
sad days.
Very sad days. So NBA Jam was coming along. Mark Turmel had done Smash TV. Midway Games had done Arch Rivals, the first basketball game.
Sure.
So they were putting together a new basketball game and wanted to do one with the NBA license. They asked me if I wanted to do the voice. I at that point was just kind of their in-house guy. They did go to other talents in the city, but I started to become a regular. So I just, once again, lucked out, good friends. And I was a huge Bulls fan, huge basketball fan, huge Marv Albert fan, because he was the guy you listened to every Sunday from downtown. So I tried to do my best, like get up in that register, and then it became my own after that, of course. But as a lot of musicians steal their Chuck Berry riffs or whatever, like he was my hero, he was the dude, he was the voice of the NBA. So I certainly modeled myself on that excited, over-the-top style, and it soon became my own. And then you can see how it morphed. The next series, NFL Blitz. Where I did a grittier, welcome to NFL Blitz 99, touchdown! That was totally unnecessary, but a whole lot of fun to watch. Yeah. Let's see it again, Neil.
Oh, I love it. So you've worked with Midway. Have you worked with Nintendo or Sega with these ports at all?
When the first home game came out, Acclaim acquired the license, and that's a whole kind of a story in and of itself.
Oh, right, Acclaim, that's right.
They had a guy who worked for Acclaim that then went on to work with the NBA, and they somehow were able to get the NBA Jam license away from Midway, so then we had to come back with Tournament Edition and different versions, and then Hang Time. Same concept, but they actually then owned the rights to NBA Jam. So I did do the first home version with those guys. So that was both Sega and Nintendo.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Mutant Football League.
Absolutely.
Hearing your voice again was like coming back home. You really are perfect for it. It makes a whole lot of sense as in my mind. tell me a little bit about your experience with recording the voice for this.
Well, first of all, after having done NFL Blitz, and we did a reboot with EA Sports a few years back, it was tough because the NFL was just starting to clean up their act as far as the violence.
Oh, sure.
And
with the whole concussion
not
thing.
Even allow one bit of that extra after the play late hits. That Blitz was known for that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it was an arcade game. That's why it was like Mortal Kombat. It was the same.
Over the top.
Everything over the top, crazy, but cartoonish violence. So anyway, it was a little bit of a disappointment for me because they only did one version, and I did think it lacked that crazy over-the-top stuff. Because it was EA, I think they got a little bit more into the Madden, a little bit more realistic style, which is not what Blitz was. So when Michael came to me with this, Michael Mendenheim, he lives in Chicago, I'm in Chicago, he said, we're doing a reboot of an arcade game. Well, I have to backtrack a little bit. I'm not a big gamer, always a musician and actor first, kind of missed the whole video game age. To me, it was all about the voice and the writing and everything else. So I was not even aware of Mutant League football back in the day. But when I found out about it, went on YouTube, saw the old Saturday morning cartoons they had trading cards,
figurines,
right up my alley.
Yeah.
All that crazy stuff. It was Madden Magazine. It was like Madden Magazine meets NFL Blitz meets Quentin Tarantino meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's a great
description. I was like, sign me up. And the sense of humor, the challenge for me right away was to take a game that has so much crazy over-the-top violence and sawing people in half, saws, bombs, and everything else, was to have that Looney Tunes Mad Magazine sense of humor. So I had a cartoonish kind of sidekicks, Bricks and Bricks Jr. I'm Grim Blitzrow, the greatest sports announcer that ever lived, calling the game. Welcome to Mutant Football League.
Yes.
So it was, we have this fun with parodying all the NFL names and NFL teams. Bomb Shady instead of Tom Brady. Yeah. The Nuke London Patriots.
Yeah, Michael was talking about that. I love everything about it. The tongue-in-cheek humor. Yeah. It's just, well, it's not even tongue-in-cheek. Yeah. It's kind of beating you over the head, and I love it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then, so I was fortunate to be able to basically write the script. He had a crew of writers that did a lot of the foundation for it, but I know in my own voice and the color commentary, my partner Derek DeJacque and myself, we created these crazy scenarios, and as I said, cartoonish kind of things like, hey, Bricks, nothing hurts worse than a tackle like that. He goes, I beg to differ. I got hit by Sister Mary Ellen Knuckles back in Our Ladies of Holy Hell in 6th grade. Cartoon Network, kind of like, Futurama, Simpsons, just taking it to that next level. So I hope that people really pay attention to some of the fun we've had in the recording booth when they check this game out. And you can look at Mutant Football League, the Twitter handle, or go to mutantfootballleague.com. Go to YouTube for the Mutant Football League trailer. They did an animated trailer of me as Grim Blitzrow as a skeleton. So there's a nice, what the game's all about, nice and fast, and you get the idea and have a lot of fun watching
I'll definitely check out that YouTube clip there.
Yeah.
Let's back it up a little bit. You said your main things were music and acting, which is right up my alley as well. Yeah. I did a lot of acting myself. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Second City.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
I moved out from New York. I was classically trained, Shakespeare, Chekhov, that kind of thing at Conservatory Purchase College in New York, and thought I was going to spend the rest of my life on the stage and do whatever, as every young actor wants to do. And you know what? I would have loved that road too, but it's a hard road. And I had no idea that I would get sidetracked to something that would not be a sidetrack, but a career. And Second City was, great ground to learn your chops, improvise. So when you think of what I do, going in there, they asked me to discover characters, improvise characters for the pinball games, especially in the beginning.
It's perfect.
So you're doing voices, you're doing comedy. And then once we got to NFL Blitz, John Hay wrote the original script for NBA Jam, and he's a great musician, piano player.
Okay.
So all those lines, basically, as I said, you can find from the vernacular of 90s basketball, Marv Albert. Boom shakalaka was the exception. That was a word that did not yet exist in the American sports lexicon.
Is that true?
And so I was the one that brought boom shakalaka into the universe.
I dare you to find someone who hasn't actually. Oh, you're wearing the shirt.
Got the boom shakalaka t-shirt. Just mention on the sidetrack, funny thing is boom shakalaka has opened so many doors. A gentleman approached me about doing a website to have me do personalized and customized voicemails. So you can go to whosaidwhatnow.com. It's whosaidwhatnow.com, and you can get a selected template of 6 or 7 different voicemails, and then I'll say your name at the beginning. You've reached Tim Kitzrow. To send him a message, press pound and dunk in his face right now. To bury a 3 in his face, press 2. To hit a 2 in the lane, press 3. For all other dunk options, say or press boom shakalaka.
Nice.
So, or you can customize whatever you want me to say, and I'll do that. But back to the boom shakalaka, then what happened was NFL Blitz, the scripts became longer and deeper because the technology allowed more memory in the games. The original NBA Jam, if you look and listen to it, especially the home versions, he's on fire, puts up a brick.
Oh, yeah, they're very short little clips.
They told me to try to clip it shorter. So he's on fire became almost one syllable, monosyllable. He's on fire. You're like, it's got to be shorter, Tim. Come on, man.
I'm doing all I can here.
Exactly. So when Blitz came along, that was like, now we have a TV show. Now we have a sitcom. So I started to write the script with Dan Forden, who was the producer on that and the lead on that. And then you go to MLB Slugfest. I wrote 95% of the script.
Yeah, so now you're on the other end instead of receiving.
So now I've developed my voice. I know who I am as the sports guy, and each one varies a little bit from NBA Jam to Blitz to Slugfest. But now, basically, I'm doing for the Second City thing. I'm writing. I actually brought my partner in, Kevin Matthews, a very famous disc jockey, stand-up comedy guy from Chicago, to play Jimmy Shorts in Slugfest. I knew his voice from the radio, his crazy character, Jimmy Shorts. You know what? I'm going to beat you up and having a folding chair, Tim. Right. So I get to kind of play the straight, dumb, but big baseball voice, big bravado. And he looked like Babe Ruth on that pitch there, Jimmy. What are you talking about? He doesn't even swing. Yeah, Babe Ruth at the Wax Museum. You know, I looked up where it would take 72,000 birthday candles to make a Babe Ruth wax statue. You know what? You're full of information, Tim. Get a life. So here we are back now all these years later. There are no arcade games basically happening. The arcade business had died. And suddenly, as you know, the arcade business around the country is just huge. It's blowing up. These conventions are becoming bigger. An arcade game, Mutant Football League. No one was knocking on my door and saying, hey, Tim, you want to do an arcade game? It's all sim games. So to me, this was like getting another chance, having a musical hit 20 years ago, and then someone goes, hey, you're hot again. And now write the script, develop the storyline, the humor for this. So
feels good, man.
I'm loving it.
Is there a job that you've turned down?
As far as recent video games?
Just like voice work? Is there something
I'll do anything.
That's right.
I'll work the drive-through.
Pull up next, please. What would you like? Could you play for that?
Game and Movie Podcast with the Monster Jam. Game and Movie Podcast can't buy a bucket. Game and Movie Podcast is on fire. Oh, Game and Movie Podcast puts up a brick. Game and Movie Podcast, it's a slam dunk. From downtown, it's Game and Movie Podcast. Kaboom!
All right, Tim, we're asking everyone here at the Midwest Gaming Classic 4 questions. They're right there. I'm going to take you through the paces. You ready?
Better not be about video games.
Oh, boy. You said you're not much of a gamer, but I know that you played some games. So if you were to only have one console without internet, which console would you pick?
I would take the Pac-Man.
The what?
Pac-Man. Oh, console.
Home console.
See, that's where look who you're talking to here. No, man, you have no idea. I'm embarrassing myself, but it's part of my shtick now. I just never been a part of the world. I bought a couple platforms for my son growing up.
Yeah.
But don't know much about it. I'm learning more here than I have in the last 25 years. The section, the history of video games,
oh, yeah.
and looking at everything.
Yeah,
so my favorite console, the one that makes me the most money. Most games have been sold on. Actually, the weird thing is you don't get royalties in this business. So the other thing, NBA Jam made $1 billion in quarters the first year.
Right, yeah.
I made $637. And you know what? That's good money when you step out behind that deep fryer at McDonald's and you get $50 an hour, you're doing pretty well for yourself. And it's $2 billion to date now.
But yeah, like imagine if you got paid every time Boom Shakalaka was said.
A piece of a penny, baby. That's all I'm looking for.
All right, so let me rearrange this this next one.
Ask me musical questions.
What was your most devastating experience in the industry to happen to you?
I think that when all the games, it seemed like in a period of 6 months that NFL Blitz, NHL Hits, and Slugfest just disappeared. Midway was starting to go down. The sales were changing, and Blitz went to Blitz the League. They got rid of the regular NFL Blitz.
I remember that, yeah.
And I was doing Slugfest at the time. The only thing that was kind of cool about that, they had to change direction because the whole format was Blitz the League. The guy who replaced me was Keegan-Michael Key. He was at Second City at the time. He was a young buck coming up.
Okay.
So he came in the studio, and I decided to do an improv with Kevin Matthews, myself, Kevin as Jim Shorts, of him coming in, being introduced to me, literally going to take my seat in the booth.
Oh.
So that exists out there somewhere on Blitz the League.
Oh, my God.
And I'd actually done all but signed 3 contracts. I'd made the first good money in my life. and not paid taxes on it because it's 1099 self-employed. They don't take taxes out. So
Right.
I got all this money from the, after making $600 on the first game. Now I'm going, wow, I'm getting somewhere. So I owed $27,000 in taxes. All 3 hits, Slugfest and Blitz, were canceled, and it felt like the end of a career. And it kind of was.
Dude.
It was years and years and years till the big comeback, which was EA, rebooting NBA Jam, and that led to getting on ESPN Sports Nation. Did a big NBA Jam day with all the, wearing all the Boom Shakalaka shirts. I introduced the show. I was a guest. We put Michelle Beadle and Colin Coward in the game, and I did live calls on the show. Then someone else on an ESPN show called Unite put me on to do Best Dunks of 2013. You can see that on my website, MrBoomShakalaka.com, if anybody wants to check it out, MrBoomShakalaka.com. So then someone from the Houston Rockets says, I saw your thing with ESPN. Why don't you do highlights for us? So I did highlights, went on the Jumbotron on the night that Harden scored his first 50. Commissioner was in the house, and it was the anniversary of the 2 championships. So the 2 Houston champion teams were there. And my video played third quarter. Everybody's looking up at it. It got like 400,000 hits on social media. And then the Warriors saw that. They called me. I did highlights for them last year, doing it again this year.
Hell yes.
The Wizards.
The Phoenix is rising.
Oakland A's called me to do highlights, baseball highlights this year. So because of that one chance to get NBA Jam going again, the Phoenix, it was an amazing time. And to cap it off with Michael doing this in conjunction with the NBA Jam 25th anniversary, we just had a hashtag NBA Jam Day on ESPN last week. They had 3 days. I did all the TV promos for Boston Celtics, Toronto Raptors, kaboom! Welcome to ESPN Jam. Neil and Stan did 2 of my highlights on the Sports Center. And they claimed, they go, I'm going to steal some of those lines. Oh, I love it when you call me Big Blocker.
Oh, that one hit me over the head. I love it.
How about this one? The clock is winding down, so the bartender calls last call. And Kevin Durant does what closers do. He's going to do a little dunk dialing. That means only one thing. He's coming over for a booty shakalaka call. Kaboom! So I did that on Sports Center. Oh, how about this? A little old school Run DMC rap on the rim. That's Run Dunk Muy Caliente.
Very hot.
DMC. So now my catchphrases that I've been writing that are not Boom Shakalaka, He's on Fire, all my original stuff is getting into these NBA highlights, which is becoming my new signature to do these customized highlights.
Yeah, these doors are opening there too. So I'm sure you would consider some sort of job in broadcasting or calling games.
The truth is, my real interest is doing the games the way I like to do them, the highlights and the video games, because I have so much respect for what those guys do. I love sports, but to eat, drink, and sleep 24/7 sports trivia, everything else.
Yeah, it is a huge
to me,
undertaking.
I have to be unleashed. I have to have the humor. So I don't think I could be corralled into that.
I can see that. Yeah.
It's like Bill Murray, having fun with like introducing the Cubs. He did that like during one of the playoff games. Or something.
I remember that.
But you wouldn't want him in the booth all the time. When he comes up to fill in, 7th inning, have me sit a couple innings to talk and horse around, but not as a
time
professional
and a place,
broadcaster.
really.
Oh, and actually, it reminds me, I got to do lineup intros live for the Rockets, for the Wizards. Going out there like a 6'11" center. He didn't go to college, but he got his degree from Dunking on You, Dwight Howard.
So, have you talked to a lot of famous players?
Well, mostly my interactions there, I'm introducing them, and it's game time. It's all business. I've said hello to a few of them. I went to the NBA Summer League, though. Got to meet the OGs, Isaiah Thomas, Vince Carter, Vlade Divac, Zebo was there. Met Steve Smith. So we had some fun meeting those guys. Just great fun. And we did an LA Clippers NBA Jam Day back in January, too. That was great. Yeah.
So you're ticking off each team pretty much right now.
Well, I hope I would love to actually, eventually do highlights for all the teams, because it's new for for the Bucks here. I'm right down the road, so I'm working with those guys. And out to Tekupo, this guy's just so exciting to watch, and he's
Unreal.
he's made of boom shakalaka, man.
For real. He's drinking some of that juice, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, the third question, use your imagination here. I'm still going to use the gaming reference for you, Tim. What movie without a game translation would you like to see made into a game?
Movie that has not been made into a game. A movie?
Any movie that you have seen in your life, if you could imagine like a game being made out of it?
Monty Python, The Holy Grail.
Oh, shit. in my head, when you say that would be a point-and-click adventure.
Oh, yeah.
With the humor like Discworld and King's Quest or something like that?
I think I'd stay at that castle where all the naughty nuns wanted to get spanked. I'm very naughty to spank me! Spank me!
No, spank me!
Right.
All right. The last question. Well, that was your favorite game of 2017. I'm just going to skip that one. I'm going to assume that your favorite game of 2018 is right behind us here, Mutant Football League. Tim, I got to say, it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Right. Well, really, it's all my pleasure, as I said. There were a lot of years where I was down there on Skid Row, sleeping out in the street. And this business has been very, very good to me. And it's fun to come back with a big hit like Mutant Football League. And I want to tell the community, after having worked with EA and gotten this like red carpet treatment and 4-star hotels and limousines, which is fun and really cool, to work with a guy like Michael Mendheim who worked for them and say, I'm giving 3 years of my life, every penny mortgage in my house to do this game. This is the way, games were made in the early days. This is the punk rock band game for this generation. And it takes the community to spread the word as you are, Anthony. So thank you so much. And if you're fans out there, just spread the trailer, the Mutant Football League trailer on YouTube. Tell your friends. You're going to have a lot of fun with this game. And I'm excited to be here.
Let's get the buzz going. The game is worth it.
Oh,
definitely.
It is.
I'm going home. I'm going to buy it tonight.
You'll be hooked on it. You'll be hooked
Absolutely.
on it.
Where can people find you?
All the videos and everything you can find on my website. I made it easy for you. MrBoomShakalaka.com or TimKitzrow.com. You can find me at Tim_Twitter, and it's probably all you need to know.
All right, thank you for talking with us.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Boom shakalaka!
Hey, thanks a lot for listening to the interview. Stay tuned for developer interviews and other interviews with people within the industry. And also, we posed a question to the public: what system could you not live without? All that and more coming up from Game and Movie Podcast. Thanks a lot, everyone, and see you next episode.